protesting globalization after 1900.
But what is globalization?
Globalization is the increasing interconnectedness and interdependence amongst countries, cultures, economies, and societies across the world. This process involves the exchange of goods, services, information, ideas, and people across borders, often facilitated by advancements in technology, transportation, and communication.
Thanks, Mr. Definition.
Yes, protests have broken out in Seattle in response to the World Trade meeting going on there today. People are calling it the Battle for Seattle. Other reporters there on the scene.
Thanks, Mr. Reporter. I'm here in Seattle. The World Trade Organization is planning a meeting in Seattle to plan its goals for global commerce and the expansion of free trade. Anti-globalization protesters have met here and have said that the World Trade Organization has lowered labor standards, created the occasion for environmental degradation, and spit on human rights, and has prevented third world nations from defending themselves against Western interests. 40,000 protesters have showed up to challenge the idea that free trade was the highest value of the world commodities.
Wow, that looks wild. Let's dive deeper into the roots of these protests.
Anti-globalization.
Anti-globalization movements were a collective term for various groups and individuals opposing certain aspects of globalization.
Thanks, Mr. Definition!
Movements are protesting organizations such as the World Trade Organization.
The World Trade Organization is an intergovernmental organization that regulates and facilitates international trade, establishing and enforcing the rules that govern trade between its member countries.
And the International Monetary Fund.
The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are both global financial institutions established to promote international monetary cooperation, financial stability, and economic growth. Both organizations cooperate to foster global monetary cooperation and reduce global poverty.
Which have had major control over the world trade for decades now. These groups use child labor in order to violate human rights.
Human rights are basic freedoms that every person has, such as the freedom from slavery and the freedom to express opinions. I guess if you violate them, they're more like human lives.
Them to profit off of.
These organizations have caused cultural homogenization.
Cultural homogenization is the process by which local cultures become assimilated into a dominant global culture, leading to reduced cultural diversity.
Man, Mr. Coulter, am I glad to see you.
Me too.
Oh! Oh my gosh, Mr. Coulter! No!
I'm glad to be here.
And economic equality, inequality in less powerful nations and favored richer countries such as the USA.
Economic inequality is the disparity of wealth and income between different groups or regions.
The protesters want to give these poor countries more sovereignty over their own government.
Sovereignty is the authority of a state to govern itself without outside interference.
Oh, what's this? It appears that some
Hacktivists.
have hacked the New York Times website and are displaying anti-war and anti-globalization sentiment. They say that they stand for HOPE, Mr. Definition.
HOPE is an acronym for Hackers on Planet Earth.
The main complaint of these protesters is the negative effects that globalization has on the environment.
Some of the negative effects of these include depletion of natural resources such as water, wood, air, and soil. All of these contribute to the destruction of ecosystems.
You're ruining the environment! Oh! Environmental degradation is the deterioration of the environment through the depletion of its natural resources and ecosystem destruction.
Now, China is shutting down social media platforms and replacing them with their own implemented apps where they can filter out the information that's available to their citizens. There's a lot happening today. Let's get some insight from the citizens.
How do you feel about this?
I love my social media. Give me back my TikTok.
And now to the White House.
I hate free trade.
I want tariffs.
Free trade is international trade left to its natural course without tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions. I think we'll have to call in an expert on this one.
Take it from here, Mr. Definition. Tariffs are taxes imposed by a government on imported goods, often designed to influence trade policies, protect domestic industries, or generate revenue.
Wow, that looks tense.
We're passing the rest of the story off to our analysts.
Globalization efforts have been all-time high with the growth of technological advancements, trade liberalization, economic policies, industrialization, financial integration, labor migration, cultural exchange, political changes, corporate expansion, and infrastructure development.
This has had some major effects on the world as we know it, those of which have been very beneficial and some which have been very harmful. We can see some positive effects as economic growth, technological advancement, lower consumer prices, cultural exchange, improved infrastructure, job creation, and access to capital, as well as international corporations.
It's a global business.
Now we've talked all about the positives, but what about the negative effects? Such as economic inequality, job displacement, cultural homogenization, environmental degradation, exploitation of labor, loss of sovereignty, as well as health risks.
Let's go to the field to see this in action. Look at this young lad playing with his technological advancements.
PS5, woo!
No, keep going, keep going.
Oh, I'm finances and I'm integrating. I'm finances. Finance going up. Up. Finance is integrating. Beep-oo, loopoo, loopoo.
Job is so boring, and at least I'm getting paid though, I guess.
I am a robot.
No! He doesn't even need to be paid.
We need to liberalize trade and create an open market. No more tariffs. Together we are the liberals. Maybe the real liberalization was the friends we made along the way.
Yo, Chase, go long.
Nice catch, Shear. Not my name, quarterback.
Go.
What if we all worked together?
Let me run the numbers.
Wow, I love making my own decisions. Ah!
No!
Hey, other country, here's your international goods. Oh, gee, thanks. What's this?
Wow, that was pretty crazy. We now have a protester from the anti-globalization movement as a guest. Have a seat. All right, so
Glad to be here, Mr. Interviewer.
what is one thing anti-globalization protesters fight for, such as yourself?
Yo, really, I think the World Trade Organization just needs to like respect human rights, man. And like we gotta care for the environment because like we only got one planet, you know, man. And it's like if we don't respect the planet, man, the planet ain't gonna respect us, man. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah, bro.
Now another question for you. What's a technological advancement that you could say made it easier to spread these ideas of anti-globalization?
Yo, low-key, shout out to my social media, bro. Like, social media allowed us to all connect to each other and share ideas from across the world, man. You get what I'm saying, Mr. Interviewer? Hell yeah.
Alright, on to our next question. What was the goal of the political party / movement Brexit in Britain?
So, low-key, like, Britain did not, like, the United Nations, Britain wanted national sovereignty, you hear? Alright? They wanted freedom to make their own decisions. Alright? But the United Nations did not F with that, bro. They were like, no, you need to be doing this and this and this. And Britain was like, nah, man. We're pulling out of the United Nations and we're becoming an independent nation again. So we can make the decisions that's best for our country without outside influences. You get what I'm saying, Mr. Interviewer?
Alright. Now, can you, just a quick quiz, can you name a country that is restricting globalization from their citizens?
Yo, China, man. Like, I was talking with my homie in China on the TikTok, and all of a sudden, I can't talk with him anymore.
A tragedy. Truly sad. What event did protesters appear at in the Battle of Seattle in 1999?
Yo, low-key, the Battle of Seattle was crazy, man. Like, I was trying to be there peacefully protest, and we started, like, rioting and all that whack, and it's like, come on, bro, do we F with peace or not, man?
And I've heard this was about the World Trade Organization meeting. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct on that, Mr. Interviewer. Low-key, we did not F with with what they wanted to do. They need to respect human rights and respect the environment, man. You get what I'm saying, Mr. Interviewer? Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
And we're back, and this time with another guest, seeing a different perspective on globalization. Here's the United Nations official. Hello, sir.
Hello.
All right, for our first question, what was the goal of organizations like the EU and the World Trade Organization?
They were to make global trade easier and more accessible for everybody.
I see. For our next question, what is your opinion on the Iraq War?
Oh, it's great. I love the spread of capitalism. More customers paying me.
And what is a criticism many multinational corporations arising through globalization?
We're kind of polluting everything, but you know, we gotta make that money.
Yes, I can relate to that. And what do you know about you getting hacked? I heard that has happened a few times.
That's the problem, but let's not talk about it now.
Alright, well, that's it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Alright, for our next guest, we have someone who's very knowledgeable on globalization. Professor Smartbrain, welcome.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Analyst.
Nice to meet you. How many days exactly did the Seattle protest last?
Well, approximately 5 days, 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 20 seconds.
And what is another term for the anti-globalization movement?
Well, some people call them counter-globalization movements, but it's basically the same thing.
And what do you know of McDonald'sization?
Well, that was when Western companies, such as McDonald's, hence the name, spread into other countries around the world in order for them to make even more money.
I see. Well, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Mr. Analyst. I'm a nerd. What do we take away from all this? How can we explain the various responses to increasing globalization from 1900 to the present?
Well, we can see that as globalization gained traction, as did anti-globalization movements, people started realizing that globalization generally didn't believe or benefit the world as much as many believed. People criticized it for loss of culture, spread of explosive transnational corporations, and power imbalances between interacting nations. We saw this take form in protests everywhere and gain general spread of anti-globalization ideas.
That's all. Good night.